Disclaimer, buckle up. This episode of Three Friends and All the Things is packed with foul language, inappropriate comments, and even some streaking. If that's your jam, then welcome to the circus. Let the shenanigans begin.
I'm a little lost on
You're always lost.
And stupid. So now I'm lost
stupid.
and stupid.
So how do
You're
you ever
lost
find
and
your way
stupid.
around if you're lost and stupid?
I basically, the dogs help me and my wife helps me.
Maybe you ought to try just dropping breadcrumbs down, and when you
You
drop
need
the
an
breadcrumbs down,
AirTag.
don't eat them and pick them up and eat them.
Right, right.
Yeah,
That's what I need. I need an AirTag. I need
yeah. And breadcrumbs.
breadcrumbs. I need cue cards because I'm not very smart.
You need those
at
little arrows that you nail to the tree this way.
This way, stupid.
Yeah, this way.
Does
Go this
Lori
way.
have a
Yeah.
shirt that says "I'm stupid" and a big arrow? Because we need to get her one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
Mhm.
sure. Okay, Chris, why don't you do something for this podcast and bring us in?
Okay. Well, I always do stuff for the podcast just by being here, by being existent.
Welcome to Three Friends and All the Things podcast, the show where filters go to die, opinions fly free, and laughter is basically a full-time job. They're not here to solve the world's problems. They are here just to make each other laugh and maybe learn a thing or two along the way. This is Three Friends and All the Things podcast, real talk for real people.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our next episode of Three Friends and All the Things. And today we are going to be talking about television shows that we grew up with and how it makes us feel nostalgic and, you know, all the things that come back to us while we're sitting watching. So do you want me to start or does anybody want to start? Or I can
No, I
start,
think Dave's raring to go here.
Okay, go ahead, Dave. You're
I
up.
think Dave's got this.
So,
by the way, let me hi everyone.
hi, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, God, everybody's like, you're stupid, Jay. You're stupid. And you don't even say hi.
Well,
But
you
go ahead,
are.
Dave. I'm sorry
We love
for
you.
Chris interrupting. Love you too.
I forget what programs I was talking about yesterday.
You said Happy Days.
I did
No,
say happy.
I
no,
said
they said
happy.
happy days.
Oh, sorry.
Chris, and
Hold on,
For
let me
the-
look 'em.
for the
ahead.
audience, right? This was so we talk about topics before we actually get on here and talk about them. And Chris is like, she's got to have dibs on certain things. Like
You're just mad because I called dibs on it.
whatever.
That's
Oh,
all.
go ahead, Dave. Sorry, we were interrupting you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I got it. So my favorite one, or one of my favorite ones, was every Friday night Dukes of Hazzards would come on.
Mhm.
And me and my middle brother, my youngest brother wasn't born yet, so that we'd always play the parts. Like I had the blonde hair, and my brother had the dark hair, so I was Bo and he was Luke. You know.
Did you get the pocket knives to put on your
Oh
little
yeah, we had everything.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
had the bow. We were bow hunting too at a later time, so we had the bows, and we are like trying to build a way to put fire on the end of the arrows and launch them the neighbors' yards, but that never succeeded.
right. And you always wanted to, so let me ask you a question. Did you ever beg your parents? Did you ever beg your parents to just keep the window down and not open the door and get in and out of it?
Didn't need to do that. We would lock the doors in the back, and
Like
you'd have to
child-proof
actually-
lock? No, I guess they didn't
Yeah,
have
they would-
child-proof locks then.
No, they didn't back then. But we would lock the door, and every door had the keyhole, so you had to key it to get in.
Oh, yeah.
So what me and my brother would do, we'd leave the windows down the night before, knowing if we were going somewhere the next morning. And a couple times it rained. And my dad lost his shit, like marbles. Like, what are you guys doing? You're getting rain in the car. And we would never fess up the reason why we do it. We just did it. And then a
Was
couple
that-
times
Was
ahead.
that in the day when the window went all the way down in the back? Because now they don't.
Yeah, now they're
Yes,
childproof.
yes.
They
Yeah,
go
okay.
halfway.
and
Okay.
you'd have to wind it down with the handle because you didn't have,
Mhm.
the automatic.
No
windows
power.
at that time. No.
Yeah.
And then we would jump up and launch ourselves into the windows. Sometimes
God.
if you couldn't get up high enough with your leg, you just dove into the seat, like
My
through
parents
the
had
window.
power windows. My
And my
had power
parents were like,
windows.
dude, these two.
We were
like,
like
seriously.
Illuminati.
I'm sorry. Jay's parents were rich. They had
Yeah.
power windows. Us,
I don't know.
us
Listen.
we had the roll up and
Listen.
down. We had to actually crank it.
Let's bring this around to a whole new thing because
We was po.
we was cold and po because
Right.
we used to open up the stove in the morning. If my dad couldn't pay the gas bill, put your feet on the edge of the stove door and warm your feet that way because it was freezing cold.
Oh my God.
And then we wait, and my mom and Steve start making breakfast, and we're sitting by the oven all toasty, like, almost like a bonfire.
Oh yeah.
You know who
I'll
didn't
have some
have to do
bacon
that?
and a side of flesh, thank you.
Bo and Luke Duke. I'm just trying to bring it back down to the subject of the whole podcast.
No.
So did you play with the toys? Did you get the car, Dave?
Oh yeah, I actually have the lunchbox still.
Wow.
Was it metal?
Lunchbox. Yes.
Was it metal? Yeah, the metal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And did you
the
have your
only thing
thermos inside? The matching
the only
thermos?
thing I don't have is the thermos. I couldn't find a thermos.
Oh no.
But I have the box. I also have the Tyco car.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I used to collect all the cars, like the cop car, Boss Hogg's car, Daisy's Jeep.
Yep.
Then me and my brother had to, when we got a little older, we were like, we need to find like a hot chick to play Daisy so we can
That's so funny because I feel like, when Dukes of Hazzard came out, like we didn't realize how hot Daisy was for TV at that time.
Yeah.
Right. We didn't realize that.
No.
Yeah. Okay, Kris, what's yours? One of yours.
My absolute number one, which Jay got upset about. Sorry, Jay.
Because you called dibs on it. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Three's Company. Come and knock on our door. Come and knock on our door. That was the best show. It was funny. It was different. It was ahead of its time for back then, back in the 70s.
It was very culture forward for that time with John Ritter,
then,
Joyce DeWitt, Suzanne Summers.
Yeah, and later Priscilla Barnes and whoever it was that played Cindy. So back then it was unheard of for two girls and a guy to live together. And so Jack had to pretend that he was gay in order to stay with the girls because,
Stop right there. Stop right there for 1 second.
Yeah.
Repeat that sentence again. Jack had to pretend he was gay to stay with the girls. We cannot say that. We could not have a TV show about that today. It would be an issue.
Yeah, it
would
be.
Think about it.
That's taboos. That's two taboos.
Right.
That's one, you can't talk about it, and two, that was unheard of back in the day.
Here's the problem I have with that too, because like now you would just say, oh, it's a guy that lives with two girls. You don't have to pretend anything. Like why would he
originally, for those who don't know, Three's Company, originally it was three women living together, and then one of them moved out because I think she was getting married or she had a job promotion or something. She left.
Yes.
And then they had a party at the apartment. Jack had been there. He fell asleep in the bathtub.
In the tub.
And in the morning, Chrissy and Janet walked into the bathroom and they found him. And that's how the show basically started. And so Jack needed a place to live. Right. Jack needed a place to live. And so in order for him to stay in the apartment with the two girls, because we're talking back in the 70s, he had to pretend that he was gay. So otherwise he would get kicked out. So through the course of the whole show, he had to put on this ruse that, he was into men, which is fine because it was very funny how they portrayed it. And Mrs. Roper knew the truth, but she was a landlord. She was the landlord's wife, and she never let on that she knew. But she knew all along that he was straight. She knew all along. But the show was funny because it was based on misunderstandings. It was based on, just funny, stupid things that they would do. And, how everything got twisted and it would become, this whole big thing when really the situation wasn't that at all. It was like very innocent misunderstandings, but it was very comical, And so Jack was a chef and I wanted to marry Jack Tripper. I wanted to be Mrs. Tripper. And I wanted to be best friends with Chrissy and Janet. And so I watched that and it's like, oh my God. And the funny thing is, it's like back then, and I don't know what it was like back then because, I was little, back then rent was $300 a month. So each one of them paid $100. And I'm like, wow. And they would struggle to come up with the money. Oh, I'm going to be short. I'm going to be late. Can I borrow $20? Blah, 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 whatever. And I'm thinking, how great would that be for $300 a month to have rent and have that beautiful apartment, like 2 blocks from the beach. So they say 2 blocks from the beach. Crazy. It was amazing. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment. And for $300 a month.
Here's a couple other things. And I always like looking at this too, is First of all, that launched Suzanne Summers into the Thigh Master career she went into.
Mhm.
So she was like America's heartthrob. But for John Ritter, like
Mhm.
that type of comedy, that slapstick, that physical comedy
Yeah.
was brand new at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brand
Yeah.
new.
Yeah. And
And
I
a
don't
lot of
think they
other a
knew.
lot of other shows came from that. Not
Yeah.
not particularly Jack Ritter or any of the characters related, but that type of comedy.
Yep.
And I don't think they knew whether or not that type of comedy was going to take off, because I think he was one of the first to do it on like
Yeah.
an actual television
Yeah, like
show.
how many times did he fall over the couch? That was right
Oh
there.
yeah,
Like,
trip
you know,
down
stuff.
because remember they
down
had
the
that one
stairs.
step in the apartment. They had that, like, it was like
Yeah,
that
he would
one
always
step
fall
up,
down it.
and he would always trip over that, and he would fall over the couch, and he would get hit by the doors, and roll backwards, and all this other stuff, and it was very funny. It was very, very funny, and my favorite was his best friend Larry.
Yeah.
Larry was the used
my
car
favorite
salesman.
character.
Yeah, Larry, the used car salesman, who was always trying to, like, get away with something, and it was just, the whole show was just, it's a classic. It is
Yeah,
an absolute
and
classic.
And again, kind of going back to like what we were talking about it from the beginning, how like the premise of it is so unheard of today. It kind of just circled back to, then Jack dating girls and saying, "Oh, I have girl roommates," and them getting mad, and then eventually him getting married. And I think there was even like a one season new
Three's a
sitcom with him.
Crowd.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. So
With Vicky.
so it's funny how it kind of like changed with the times at
But
that
also,
specific period.
right. But also, the thing I really liked was how the three roommates always, like, they stuck together and supported each other. And if one of the girls was out on a date and they were having an issue, Jack would always have their back. He would always step up and, like, be the man of the house and protect them.
Mhm.
And he was such a sweet guy.
Yeah, it was a great character for him.
Yeah,
and it was
he
much
did
like
a
him.
really
I was gonna say
he
that
did a
it
really great
portrayed
job.
a lot of his own characteristics in himself. The way, and if you listen to him talk, like in an interview or something, it was almost like you were talking to Jack Tripper because of the way he presented himself and how he just was.
He does. I know it's a little bit off the topic, but he does an improv at some type of thing where all the celebrities were at with Robin Williams.
I saw that.
It's like 25 minutes long, and it's hilarious. It
is really good.
I can imagine them two together.
Okay, my turn. So
I was heartbroken when John Ritter died, by the way, just so you know. It broke my heart.
Okay, your time's up. Your time's up. It's my time.
Speak. Land the plane, Jay.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I didn't even get a chance to. You've been
didn't even take off yet.
You've been circulating the airport,
he's still waiting to start the engines.
Right? Yeah, I didn't even say, "Hey."
He's on the runway. He's not even. Yeah.
Turn the engine on. Thank you.
Tower, are we cleared for takeoff?
So I have two, but the one that I always remember because I couldn't get a handle on it until the last episode. Honestly, was MASH. Right? Because here's this great primetime show about war and soldiers and every little boy's dream. Where's the guns? Where's the war? And it was about doctors. Yeah. And then, I'm watching, I'm like, well, Hawkeye's pretty cool, right? He's pretty cool. And it was kind of like, I knew it was like that warm feeling, that music at the beginning with the helicopter coming in. And it was like, okay. And then what I learned was, and when I say this, you guys will get it, to have humor in serious situations. Right? And that's
because
what
remember Radar used to come in the dresses?
Right, but Hawkeye and BJ, they were all very much
Hot Lips.
Like, Hot Lips, of course, was I don't understand it, but whatever, was the hot chick on there. But they were the comic relief in it, and Burns with his stupidity yet trying to be superior, and then yet you had surgeries where people died and they were going through stuff, and then all these people were like having PT, again, Hawkeye went through PTSD. They didn't call it that then. They just
they probably didn't know what it was.
Right.
They probably didn't have a name for
it. It didn't have a label back then, right. So, and then at the end, in the very last episode, everybody gets to go home.
I bawled during that episode.
You're like,
that was the crazy part.
That's
like,
it.
How many episodes did you watch? And like Jay said, you didn't get it until the very last episode. You're like, wow, like I'm about to cry for these people because
because I'm gonna miss them.
This is over. This is
You
over.
become invested in their
Right.
lives. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You do. You get invested in these characters, and then all of a sudden it's over, and you're just like, oh my god! Like you feel like you're mourning a death.
Yeah, and then like it also showed like then they did the actual name of the show afterwards was Aftermash. Didn't do well. It was all of them that went to go work in a hospital or
Really?
something.
I
of
didn't
that.
even know that happened.
Yeah, it wasn't on that long.
It wasn't on that long at all.
Mm.
So it was stuff like that. So and it didn't catch that sentimentality because again, you're in the middle of war. It was the Vietnam War? No, Korean War. Was it the Vietnam or Korean War?
I think it was Vietnam.
Yeah, I think it was Vietnam.
I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, and they dealt with things like you calling them racial names, in the middle of that.
Mhm.
And it was like you dealt with that and nobody batted an eye, So I find that interesting. That was always one of my like, okay, let's sit down and do this type of thing and sit and watch it. And it was always like, it was something my dad watched, so it was always cool to sit with him. Okay, Dave, you're up. Cheers.
Cheers.
Norm!
Norm. Yeah.
Norm.
Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woody
Harrelson.
Yeah.
Woody.
Yeah.
Then you had what was it? Elaine.
What was her name?
Well, you had Shelley Long.
Shelley Long, and then you also had
Christy Allen.
No. Danny DeVito's Rhea Perlman.
Oh my God.
Rhea Perlman.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was hilarious.
Yeah,
Oh my
she was
God.
funny.
She
She
was
was that, like,
so funny.
I used to love her because she reminded me of so much of my Aunt Louise. She had she was a little woman. She had a lot of spitfire, like very rugged, like come at you, didn't matter, and break your stones no matter what type of deal. Like
she was great on that show.
Yeah,
she was.
really
She was
funny.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That show brought me back to, Jay could probably understand, brought me back to high school because a lot of our high school classmates referred to Cheers and a lot of things that we talked about. So when we would come into school, like if we were bored and we had anything to talk about, yeah, did you watch Cheers last night? Oh my God, and then you just get into it. And then some of the classmates would take on characters like, well, so-and-so reminds me of Sammy, the athlete type of guy and smooth and suave. And dude, and if you look at the way that show started, a lot of those people went far as other shows. And
well, if you think about it, like, again, unlike the previous ones we just talked about, Three's Company, MASH, their spinoff was Frasier. And Frasier ran for almost over, I think it was over a decade.
And then they came out with another Frasier.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Where
like a re-release, which was actually pretty good.
Yeah. Through the streaming, updated them further.
Good.
He moved. It was about him.
That happens.
Yeah.
Because you get the spinoffs that don't do as well. They
well, that was because that was the whole thing, Dave. Was the characters? The characters kind of went through time. And like no matter what time period they were in, they were relevant. That's what I think.
The thing that bothers me the most about all the stuff, all the TV shows we're talking about, I think the hardest thing for me is to look at these people after they do the spinoffs. They get older. They don't look the same to me. And it's like, dude, sometimes I feel like, man, can we just go back to the days where these guys like looked and act the way they acted back then? It actually made them relevant. And now you watch them like, dude, like it's almost like they can't, I don't know, recoup what they had.
Right. And the other thing to that too is like, even if you bring back like certain sitcoms that we talk about now, like you got to wonder, like, how would it work today? Like, would it be funny? Probably not. Right. Like, we're talking about sitcoms, but like one of my like movies that always makes me feel a little bit Halloween-ish is, and I watched it last night, was the original Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
But like while looking at it, some of the jokes wouldn't hit today at all.
Right.
In that. And then I think back, like I was trying to translate that back into sitcoms. And like, if you took those characters and those cast of people, it wouldn't work today. So I often think like, since movies are being rebooted, what about like rebooting certain sitcoms, And then, I mean, I know I would be like, oh, that's not going to work. That sucks. I'm not going to watch it.
Right.
Whatever.
I think if somebody had like, even look at like, just for conversation's sake, like even some of these actors that after they left that show, like Woody Harrelson, how great his career was with movies and other TV, like White Man Can't Jump and some of some of the other stuff that he did that really, to this day, now he's like an icon.
Yep. Yep. And he turned into turned into a serious actor. Like, you know who's another perfect example? Tom Hanks. He started off as a
Bosom
cross-dresser.
buddies.
Yeah.
Bosom buddies, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he then jumped into movies and comedy, and then he became this serious, Oscar-winning actor.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. All right, Kris, you're up.
So touching on like how they've gone like and made these great careers, how about we look at the other, like, let's go the other way, right? So you have the guy that was Tom Hanks's friend in Bosom Buddies, Peter Scolari. Whatever happened to him? I don't know. Then you have shows like Family Ties. Michael J. Fox's career took off. Off.
Okay,
right?
just for clarity, is Family Ties your show?
Family Ties is my show, right?
Okay.
So Michael J. Fox's career took off after that, but then his sister Justine Bateman, what happened to her? Her brother's career took off. Jason Bateman, what happened to her?
Yeah,
it's
and
weird
he was on
make or break you. Yeah.
Right, and he was on Hogan's Heroes, right?
Was he?
Who?
Not Hogan. Was it? Yeah, Jason Bateman was on Hogan's Heroes.
No, you're talking about the Hogans. What was the name of that show where the family was named Hogans?
The Hogans. Yeah, Hogans, not Hogan's Heroes.
Correct.
The Hogan family, yeah.
I hit the nail on the head.
I knew it was Hogan.
You did.
God.
Yes, you were right. But Hogan's Hero, he wasn't even born yet.
Chris, you're solid, because how many movies has the father been in? Michael Gross. Like, he didn't hit it like hugely big, but you know, and then the
mother, Meredith Baxter, she goes by. She was in a lot of, I think, like Lifetime movies or something, and then like it was a TV show.
She played a mom, and then she was in a couple series once where they, I guess, had a killer involved. But
like some of it can make or break you. Michael J. Fox's career took off. Like, he went into Back to the Future and all these other movies and television shows, and but you watch these shows, and that was always like the wholesome family thing. Like, oh, Family Ties is on, okay, and you'd run downstairs and you'd wait for it to come on because there was no rewind, there was no recording it.
No,
none of that stuff existed back then, and so. And then of course, like when the commercial was on, and just about to end, and your siblings would scream, "It's back!" And then you'd go running through the house like you were being chased by a killer clown. But these shows are so like in the time and the era of us growing up, and you could relate to them. You had the parents, and you had the brother and the sisters, and the squabbles, and the parents getting involved, and the kids trying to like get the parents into this is what's happening now, and the parents were like, well, back in my day. And so it was kind of like the relationship between the parents and the kids, and how you relate
and
to
those
each
parents
other.
were hippies, and they always went back to that.
Yeah.
So that was also very timely for that time period.
And think of all like the other shows that kind of tie
Let's circle back for a second. Okay. Tom Hanks was Uncle Ned on Family Ties.
I was just going to say
Remember
that.
Uncle Ned? Wasn't he an alcoholic or something?
He was an alcoholic.
Yes.
He wanted Alex to go get beers for him in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
dude, how would you like seeing them two guys work together? Like you almost like looking at those two interact. And I think Tom Hanks had a hard time not like kind of playing that serious role where you can actually see him, you listen to him talk, like you could see like the comedic side wanting to come out.
Yes, you can see it.
And I think because that's what he was so good at that time. And the other person in there, Kris, is who played Michael J. Fox's girlfriend for 2 years?
I can't remember.
Was she in the one where they did the dance?
Courtney Cox.
That's right.
Yes.
And her career took off to Friends.
Well, let's be fair. It took off because she was in the Bruce Springsteen video,
Dancing in the Dark.
And then the whole thing was the Bruce Springsteen girl is now in Family Ties.
Correct.
So,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. That was a good one, Kris.
Oh wait. Never mind. Go ahead. Move on.
Go ahead.
No. We'll wait for you.
I lost my train of thought. Don't wait for me to go.
Like, I'm just sitting up here watching the plane circle. It's okay. It's okay, Dave. We'll wait for you all day.
No, I'm good.
Hey, best friend, IQ, whatever. All right.
Feel free to join me, Dave. Let's in solidarity.
So I had trouble. Okay. Because when I was thinking about that. Are you done?
Yeah.
Can I go? Thanks.
You're welcome.
Because my original pick was like, I was thinking, what makes you feel nostalgic? Like, what do you turn on when you're sick eating soup at home? And I think of Happy Days, right? Like I think of, oh, all the reruns were on at the time, and then we could watch the new ones at a certain time. And then I was like, yes, that reminds me of grade school. Happy Days reminds me of grade school. Fonzie, totally like cool at that time, but like even then when we were watching it, we're like, he's not that cool, right? Like I would sit there and try to bang on a friggin' jukebox, and I didn't get anything happen or a girl come, right? So there was that. Then I'm like, well, what made me feel high schoolish? Does anybody know what I'm going to say? Not one person, because unlike you people, I did not give it away. 1-0.
I thought we were talking about Happy Days.
We were, but then I wanted to check
yeah,
you
It's
guys
grade
out.
school. We've moved
Yeah.
on. We've grown up now.
We've grown up.
But in high
already.
school,
Okay,
it was
I'm
like
sorry.
90210. It was like, and I still to this day, like I sit back and I'm going, what the hell? Like, oh, these kids are like us. They have real world problems, except they had money in the world. Like we were trying to get together gas money. What were these kids doing? Right? They were going up the proms and the this and the that, blah, 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 blah.
Or how about going to a movie and you're like, I don't know if I can go because I got to see if my mom and dad will give me money to go.
Right. I don't know if I have money. Meanwhile, they had trust funds. But everybody found a way to relate to, I mean, obviously the popular one was Dylan, who went on to have Luke
Perry.
Luke Perry went on to have a pretty good career. Brandon and Brenda being brother and sister and dealing with, and she went on, Jenny Garth, everybody went on to have a pretty decent career, right? In that. But it was always something that, like, when I think of time periods, I think of Happy Days for grade school, right? And it's so sad to see how old they are now, right?
Yeah.
Even though I think Henry Winkler is one of the nicest people alive to this day.
I love him.
And then, think about that too. Like, I remember when Richie left. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going, oh my God.
Yeah, how sad
this
that
is going to
episode
This is
was.
going to be right. And that guy went on to become one of the greatest directors of all time.
Yeah.
Ron Howard.
And have a great daughter who's also got the genes in her.
Robin Williams is Mork from Mork and did a couple episodes with Henry Winkler and Happy Days. And
yes.
That was all that spinoff between Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all of them. That was just like how Archie Bunker on The Family.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? And
Right?
Sanford and Son.
Yeah, but Archie Bunker, if you remember correctly, their neighbors were the Jeffersons.
That's right. Before
Yeah,
they
I
moved
lo-
on
and that
up,
was
like
the
Phil
thing
and
that I used to
Dweezy.
love.
Yeah.
Right, they
about
don't
those
do
shows.
that anymore.
No.
They would
And the
connect. They would
way
connect
Archie-
people show to
Yeah.
show, and then those runoffs from those other shows would spin off, and then next thing you know, those shows took fire. You know
They
what
were
I mean?
all successful. They were
Right.
all
Yeah.
successful. And Archie Bunker, my God, there's no way in hell you could have an Archie Bunker character on
No.
today's TV.
Well,
There
I
is
just-
absolutely no way.
I just saw a meme today, and it says we're tough and realistic because we watch these shows, and it was like Archie
Yeah.
Bunker, the Jeffersons, Sanford and Son. I mean, listen, there's some
A lot
truth
of
to
those
it.
shows weren't afraid to take on those topics of that day
They
because
weren't.
it was all
They
in humor
weren't.
to make light of a lot of serious things that people could laugh at.
Listen, if you ever listen to the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, James Dean, Sammy Davis Jr., they constantly made fun of being Italian, being black, being this, being that, and they great friends. Nobody complained. They went right back at each other.
No, they
For
weren't
it.
fist fighting, ready to kill each other, and
Mhm.
next thing you know, lawyers are involved and they're in court, and
Mhm.
their
Right. It
shows
remi-
all
it
go to
rem-
the crapper because nobody watches them anymore because of what they say. You know what I
It
mean?
reminds me of what my dad used to have poker nights at his house, right? And nobody had a real name. It was always like John the Wop or
Everybody had nicknames.
Yeah.
Tommy the Pollock. And I'm like,
Yeah.
is that his last name, Pollock? Like, I didn't know,
Right.
or the
Right.
Mick. I'm like, what? Is his name Mick? No, he's just Irish.
Archie
my dad had
Bunker.
guys. My dad,
Archie
dad's
Bunker.
guys' friends were all nicknames were animals: turtle, wolf.
Yeah.
They
Right.
used to call my dad Ducky because he walked and looked like a duck.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So
Yeah.
Archie Bunker, was my grandfather. Seriously. He, was my grandfather, But you'll never see, I watch videos. I watch, the reels of Archie Bunker talking to Meathead and talking to the Jeffersons and all this other stuff. and I cringe because I'm like, oh my God, is my volume up too loud? Because I don't want to offend somebody. But that was the way TV was back then. That's how it was. And there was nothing it was not cringeworthy at all. Now in today's society, absolutely. The other one that I didn't really understand, like it was funny, but I didn't really get the true understanding of it until I got older and rewatched The Golden Girls. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Sophia going back and saying
I don't have
some
to
of the
think
things.
about it. I live with it. My mother-in-law.
Blanche. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But
Blanche
it's
being
the
all
same
sexy,
thing. It's like
Rose
her
being dumb.
Right. Her and her
Dorothy
friend.
being cutthroat.
Blanche was every young kid's like, mom
Dream.
that everybody wanted to chase.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And Rose was just, but Rose is funny because she played this like really dumb person, Betty White. God love her. She was amazing. She played Rose, dumb as a doornail, like just dumb, right? But then she would come out with these really, really smart explanations about something and like blow the other characters away. It was few and far between, but and then Dorothy was just like, went for the jugular. Sophia just whatever flew out of her mouth, and it was like, oh my God. But when I went back and I rewatched it, I didn't realize how funny it actually was until I got older, because I don't think you grasp it. Like Jay, like you said with MASH, you didn't fully understand it until it was over. If you go back and rewatch some of these shows, you're going to, now that we're all, in our 50s, it's going to hit different than it did when we were in our, teens and 20s and 30s. And I mean, I went back and rewatched 90210, the whole thing.
I was telling Jay when we started talking about topics and he brought up Happy Days, I literally just started watching Happy Days from season 1. I'm in episode 4 already. And it brings me back.
Because weren't they in high school when Happy Days first started, and then they ended up going to college, right?
Right, it was college, yeah.
And then it went into real life because everybody was out of school.
Yeah, getting jobs, and
and then I think he was like married, and Richie would come back, and
he and Lori Beth got married. And then he was in the army. Didn't he go into the army and he left?
He went
and then
in the
he came
army
back for like guest appearances when he was like on leave or whatever.
Yep. It's kind of crazy.
It's funny when you go back and you watch these things, like you get a whole, like it'll take you back, but then you get a whole different perspective now that you're older, like the way that you're interpreting the material.
Right. And it's so funny because like, even watching sitcoms today is different than, what it was back then. Like we have to go to a streaming network. Like I think we watch maybe like we watch more of the like reality shows or whatever, just because it like I just feel like there's no good subject matter in sitcoms anymore. I mean, there's a few out there that we'll watch. I actually like that one. I mean, I love Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but I love the other one Caitlin Olsen's in. Is it Olsen?
Mm-hmm.
I love that. It's called High Potential.
High Potential. I love that show.
There's one out right now that me and Jennifer are going to sit down and start watching. It's called DMV.
Oh yeah, I just saw
that thing is got to be hysterical. It almost reminds me of Taxi.
It's basically like The Office in DMV in a DMV office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can probably see it on regular TV.
I just saw that today.
But that looks hysterical. I mean, I think the trouble with a lot of the sitcoms today, and like you said, Jay, like not being funny. I think the problem with the not being funny is because they can't touch everyday life topics like they used to be able to. Because there's such a, like, we talk about, you have to walk such a thin line and be on eggshells because it's all about, I call it the new world where feelings, everybody's got feelings and you got to say the right thing. And if you say it, even if you say it with an intent on being funny, like, how we all grew up with being able to break each other's balls and your parents were ball breakers. So you kind of just had to have thick skin and laugh it off. Now you try to break stones. It's like it's almost like the new mindset is I can break stones, but you can't because what you're going to say hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
So now
Dave, that is correct, Dave. And I want you to go into your opinion, sum everything up. Because this seems like a good segue into that because I feel like you just said most of your opinion.
Yeah,
I probably did. I feel like listen, I have friends of all identifiable genders in today's age and in race And one of my best friends is a black man, and he's a pastor of a church, and I love him like a brother, and he knows I'll do anything for him, and he'll do anything for me, and we're like family. Like I always tell him, like we should have been linked by genes, because that's how close in mindset we are, and we both, follow the good Lord the best we can and do the best we can with what we have. But I think that everything is oversensitized anymore, and I think I hate to say that we're bad parents. I mean, I don't think we are. I think the times are different. We're raised differently. And I think our generation is, I've said this on other episodes, where I think we're tough. And I think generations of today are soft. And I think it's more because we give everybody a stage to stand on and complain and rant and say what they want, and freedom of speech. And listen, freedom of speech, in my opinion, has always been freedom of speech. Nobody's ever turned around.
Social media is a huge podium, Dave. Yeah. You're correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody has a podium or a stage to talk on now. And the thing that gets me is it's one thing to stand up for something that is true and American and worldly to an extent for every nation and country of people. It's another thing to stand on something that is, you're just trying to force feed your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your fight. Your opinion, your fight, whatever it is that you want to call it. I think bubblegum, it fixes cavities, and there's no scientific proof of that. You know what I mean? But I think somebody that believes in it strongly enough is like, oh, well, I can say what I want.
I think Jay wants you to land the plane.
Land the plane? Well, and to sum it up, that happy
Circle
days, cheers.
Jay, you're up. Circle up there.
Sorry, Jay, you're up.
No, it's Kris. Kris is next.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you want to go and see some really good comedy, like true comedy, go back, look on your streaming services, go back and look for the Three's Companies, the Family Ties, the Golden Girls, the MASHes, the Happy Days. These are real shows dealing with real problems, and they do it in a way that is funny, that is real and uncensored, I guess would be a good word, because now everything is so censored. But, everything is, for the most part, it's pretty clean cut. Some of it is offensive. If you go back to the Archie Bunker days and you go back to maybe parts of the Jeffersons, I don't really know, but you have to remember that they were allowed to do and say these things back then. But like Dave said, the world has gone completely soft. Everybody has a problem with every little thing, right? And so that really needs to stop, because with all of this censoring and all of this ridiculous nonsense, shows just aren't funny anymore. They're just not as funny anymore. And this is why I watch serial killer documentaries, because
correct,
that's what's interesting to me. These sitcoms just are not funny like they were back in the day. So if you want to watch a true sitcom that was funny and has relatable material, go back and watch all the 70s and 80s sitcoms, because
they're more entertaining to me. I get entertained from them.
Well, they're more entertaining than the crap that's out on TV now. So That's my piece. Jay, you're up.
Creativity is dead. Dead.
I like that. Yeah.
Think about it, because TV changed when we went to what? Let's put a camera and watch this person get up, brush their teeth, take a crap.
Yeah. Reality TV.
What creativity? And then
reality TV is not even TV.
Right. Wait, it's still my time, Kris. It's still my time. I didn't interrupt you. Sorry. Right. So you have this reality TV, and and then when that's not spicy enough, let's spice it up. Let's flip a table. Yes, that was a Teresa reference from New Jersey Housewives. But creativity is dead, because then, and I guess like going back to both your points, where how do you come up with a sitcom that's relevant in this very narrow scope of the world that people have very narrow views with blinders on? Where you go back to Sanford and Son, All in the Family, Happy Days, family values, laughter, funny moments, racial moments, all of that. It was so much broader back then. Now we have this very limited thing. Well, I don't want to piss anybody off because you don't know what side you're on. Creativity is dead, and we killed it with our own opinions by forcing our opinions on everyone else. Creativity is dead. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you for your input, Leo Chavez. Much appreciated.
Why, surfing?
I don't even know who Leo Chavez is.
I said Julio Chavez.
I don't even know who Julio Chavez.
Chavez.
That's you.
You know what? I'm so
You
fed
were
up
John.
with
You were
today.
John Charles, and now you're Julio Chavez.
So you're just
Next
gonna
week
make
you'll
up
have
names?
another name with your initials of JC, and we're not saying Jesus Christ because
Nah, not even close.
that's not you. Not even
J-
close.
I can't do it. It's against my religion.
JCR, man. I'm just saying JCR, right?
That does
All
not
right.
stand for Jesus Christ Revival.
It's
No.
returns.
Whatever.
On behalf of David, Dorothy, and myself, Jay.
Dorothy's my mom. Thank you.
Larry,
Literally.
Jack, and Chrissy.
Thank you guys for listening to Three Friends and All the Things podcast. We hope you guys are being safe out there, and every day remember who you are.
Bring it.
Go Birds.
Oh, dear Lord.
I would like to know how it went from 84 degrees last week to 48 degrees today. You know what? I think I'm going to run down to the Beagle, and I think I'm going to go catch a drink down there and, like, you know, see what the happenings are. Yeah, okay. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the show. Be sure to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. See you next time on Three Friends and All the Things podcast. Real talk, real people. New episodes drop every week, so hit follow, leave a review, and tell your messiest friend to listen to. You know the one I'm talking about. Until next time, keep it real, keep it loud, and keep doing all the things.